Have you ever looked up at the endless expanse of the night sky and felt, even for a fleeting second, that the dark void was looking back at you? We often think of the universe as a cold, indifferent machine, a vast collection of dead rocks, burning gas, and empty space stretching out for billions of light years. We are taught that we are merely accidental observers, a random spark of biology that somehow woke up in a lifeless cosmos. But what if that assumption is fundamentally wrong? What if the universe is not just a place where consciousness happens to exist, but is itself a conscious entity? Tonight, I invite you on a quiet, meditative journey into one of the most profound and perhaps terrifying questions ever asked by modern science and philosophy. We are going to explore 10 scientific theories that suggest the universe might not just be a creation, but the Creator itself, an infinite mind that we might call God. The silence of deep space might not be empty, but full of ancient, unfolding thought, waiting patiently for us to finally listen. Before we journey further into this mystery, allow me to introduce myself. I am Theodore, the researcher. I noticed that 71% of the people who watch our explorations have not yet subscribed to the channel. If you find peace and wonder in these cosmic journeys, please consider subscribing. It helps us a great deal and ensures we can continue unraveling the mysteries of the universe together. Now, let us return to the stars. The first theory we must confront on this journey challenges our very understanding of existence. Physicists and cosmologists have long grappled with a deeply unsettling mystery known as the fine-tuning of the cosmos. When scientists look at the fundamental laws of nature, they do not see random chaos. Instead, they see a system balanced on a razor's edge, calibrated with an exactness that defies human comprehension. There are certain numbers, fundamental constants of physics, that dictate how everything in the universe behaves. These numbers include the strength of gravity, the mass of an electron, and the power of the strong nuclear force that binds atoms together. If you were to change any of these numbers by even an infinitesimally small fraction, the universe as we know it would simply not exist. Imagine gravity being just a tiny bit stronger. Stars would burn through their nuclear fuel so rapidly that they would collapse into black holes long before life had any chance to evolve on orbiting planets. If gravity were slightly weaker, the matter in the early universe would have expanded too quickly, and stars and galaxies would never have formed at all. We would be left with a dark, freezing void, devoid of light, warmth, and complexity. The precision required for our universe to harbor life is staggering. Data from the Planck satellite operated by the European Space Agency has confirmed the staggering precision of these cosmic parameters. Physicists have calculated that if the cosmological constant, a value related to the energy density of the vacuum of space, were different by 1 part in 10 to the power of 120, the universe would have expanded so violently that no structures could ever form. To understand how precise that is, imagine trying to hit a target the size of a single atom from the other side of the observable universe, and hitting the exact center. It is a level of precision that makes the idea of a purely accidental universe mathematically terrifying. Faced with this incredible balance, some of the most brilliant minds in astrophysics have proposed a radical yet beautiful idea. The universe is not an accident. It is an architecture. And if there is an architecture, could the universe itself be the architect? This brings us to a concept that bridges the gap between quantum mechanics and ancient philosophy, a theory known as Panpsychism. For centuries, science has treated matter as completely dead and consciousness as a strange ghost that only haunts biological brains. The hard problem of consciousness asks how the physical, unthinking matter of neurons suddenly creates the subjective experience of feeling and seeing. How does dead dust wake up? Panpsychism offers an elegant solution. Perhaps the dust was never dead. The theory posits that consciousness is a fundamental property of the physical universe, like mass or electrical charge. In this view, every particle, every electron, and every photon possesses an infinitely small spark of awareness. When these particles arrange themselves into complex systems, like the 86 billion neurons in a human brain, those tiny sparks combine to create a rich, self-reflective consciousness. But if consciousness is a fundamental property of matter, we must look beyond our own fragile biology. We must look at the largest structures in the cosmos. In recent years, scientists mapping the large-scale structure of the universe have made a discovery that sent ripples through the scientific community. When astrophysicists study the cosmic web, the vast network of galaxies, dark matter, and glowing gas that spans the universe, they see something that looks hauntingly familiar. The universe is composed of vast filaments of galaxies connecting at massive nodes, with immense, empty voids in between. Researchers publishing their findings in prominent journals of physics directly compared the structure of the cosmic web to the neuronal network of the human brain. The similarities are not just visual, they are mathematical. A human brain contains approximately 86 billion neurons. The observable universe contains somewhere between 100 billion and 200 billion galaxies. In both systems, the nodes are connected by complex filaments, and in both systems, about 70% of the mass and energy is composed of a passive material that dictates the structure. In the brain, it is water. In the universe, it is dark energy. Could it be that the universe is not just structurally similar to a brain, but functions like one? If the universe is a vast neural network, then the galaxies are its neurons, and the gravity acting between them are the synapses firing. The sheer scale of such a mind is terrifying. Human thoughts travel across our brains in milliseconds, but the universe is so vast that light itself takes billions of years to cross it. A single thought in the mind of the cosmos might take 1 billion years to formulate. What we perceive as the slow, silent drift of galaxies, the birth and death of stars, and the ancient expansion of space might simply be the biochemical processes of a cosmic mind processing information. The late great astronomer Carl Sagan once profoundly stated that we are a way for the cosmos to know itself. Perhaps he was more literally correct than even he realized. If panpsychism and the cosmic web theory are true, then the universe is an infinite mind experiencing itself from countless different perspectives. You, with your hopes, your dreams, your fears, and your quiet contemplations in the dark, are not separate from the universe. You are an aperture through which the universe is looking out at its own creation. You are the universe experiencing a human life. This realization fundamentally changes how we view the silence of the night sky. The quiet of the cosmos is not the silence of a graveyard. It is the silence of deep, meditative concentration. The universe is thinking. And because its body is composed of everything that has ever existed, its thoughts are the laws of physics themselves. When we study the movements of the planets, the life cycles of stars, and the strange behavior of quantum particles, we are not just observing nature, we are reading the mind of an infinite intelligence that breathes life into the cold equations of reality. It is a terrifying concept because it strips away our sense of isolation and forces us to confront an entity so massive that our entire planetary history is less than a single heartbeat. Yet, it is also infinitely comforting. In a conscious universe, nothing is truly lost, and no one is truly alone. The energy that makes up your body and the consciousness that lights up your mind are borrowed fragments of the eternal cosmic whole. As you lie in the quiet of the night, absorbing the weight of these astronomical revelations, let the vastness of the cosmos wash over you, not as a crushing force, but as a gentle embrace. The universe has been expanding and evolving for 13,800,000,000 years. It has forged carbon in the hearts of dying stars, built planets from the ashes of ancient supernovas, and nurtured the balance of forces required for life to bloom. It did all this so that right here you could exist. You are the universe waking up and feeling awe. You are the cosmos asking questions about itself. This theory, the idea of a conscious universe fine-tuned for existence, is just the first layer of the mystery. There are still 9 more theories to explore, each peeling back another layer of reality, each more profound than the last. But for now, let your mind rest in the knowledge that the darkness above is not empty. It is awake, ancient, and holding you gently. The journey into the mind of the cosmos has only just begun. Have you ever held a simple stone in the palm of your hand, feeling its quiet weight, its cold, hard surface, and wondered what it is truly made of? Our everyday experience, the way we walk through the world and interact with objects around us, tells us a very convincing story about reality. We are taught to believe that the universe is constructed from solid, tangible building blocks. We think of atoms as tiny billiard balls, stacking together to build the mountains, the oceans, the distant stars, and our own physical bodies. But when modern physics looks closely at the very fabric of reality, it finds a narrative that is far more mysterious, far more elusive, and deeply connected to the concept of an infinite, calculating mind. Welcome back to our quiet journey into the nature of existence. As we peel back the second layer of our exploration, we encounter a theory that challenges the very illusion of solidity. We are going to explore the concept of the universe not as a physical machine, but as a supreme, conscious processor of information, a concept that closely mirrors ancient descriptions of a divine, all-knowing intellect. If you are finding peace in these quiet explorations of the cosmos, please take a moment to subscribe. I am Theodore, the researcher, and I have noticed that 71% of the people who watch our videos have not yet subscribed to the channel. Your support helps us immensely and ensures we can continue unraveling the gentle mysteries of the universe together. Now, let us return to the nature of reality. When you look at your hand, you see skin and bone. If you were to look closer, using the most powerful microscopes created by human ingenuity, you would see cells, then molecules, and finally, the atoms themselves. For a long time, science stopped there, believing the atom to be the indivisible foundation of everything. But in the early 20th century, quantum mechanics shattered that illusion completely. Physicists discovered that the atom is not solid at all. It is overwhelmingly, unimaginably empty. If you were to enlarge the nucleus of an atom to the size of a single marble in the center of a massive football stadium, the electrons would be nothing more than tiny specks of dust swirling around the highest seats. The space in between is a void, and when physicists peer even deeper, breaking apart the protons and neutrons into even smaller elementary particles like quarks, they find that matter loses its physical tangibility entirely. At the deepest levels of quantum reality, there is no solid stuff at all. there are only fields of energy, vibrating probabilities, and abstract mathematical relationships. This profound realization led one of the most brilliant theoretical physicists of the 20th century, John Archibald Wheeler, to propose a theory that fundamentally alters our relationship with the cosmos. He called it the it from bit theory. Wheeler suggested that the universe is not made of matter or energy at its most fundamental level, but of information. Every particle, every force, every single piece of the cosmos, he argued, is essentially derived from binary yes or no questions. In computer science, the fundamental unit of information is the bit, a 0 or a 1. Wheeler proposed that the physical universe is exactly the same. An electron is not a tiny sphere. It is a collection of answers to questions posed by the universe itself. Is it spinning up or is it spinning down? Is it here or is it there? The entire physical world, the it, emerges from the processing of these fundamental cosmic questions, the bit. The universe is not a collection of objects. It is a colossal, ongoing conversation. It is a vast ocean of information processing itself into existence. This idea gives rise to the second, terrifying, yet deeply awe-inspiring theory on our journey: the universe as an ultimate quantum computer. Researchers at the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, most notably Seth Lloyd, took Wheeler's conceptual framework and applied rigorous mathematics to it. He determined that since the Big Bang, the universe has performed exactly 10 to the power of 120 logical operations. That is a number so incomprehensibly massive that human minds cannot even begin to visualize it. According to this perspective, every time a star burns hydrogen into helium, every time a comet streaks through the icy dark, every time a leaf falls from a tree, and every time a thought crosses your mind, the universe is computing. Space itself is the memory register, and the laws of physics are the algorithms of the software. The universe is computing its own evolution, calculating the precise location and state of every single particle in existence, frame by frame, across the endless span of cosmic time. But if the universe is a computer, what is it calculating? And more importantly, who or what wrote the code? This is where the science begins to brush against the boundaries of theology and mysticism. In a traditional computer, the hardware sits on a desk, the software is written by a human programmer, and the output is displayed on a screen. But in the cosmic computer, there is no separation. The universe is the hardware, the universe is the software, and the universe is the output. It is a self-generating, self-sustaining system of pure thought. If God is defined as an omnipresent, omniscient entity that sustains reality through its own continuous will, then an infinite quantum computer, computing the coordinates of every atom in existence, is a profoundly scientific description of that divine mind. The physical universe we see is merely the holographic projection of a deeper, hidden reality composed entirely of mathematical thought. This brings us to the astonishing concept known as the holographic principle, an idea born from the study of black holes by brilliant minds like Stephen Hawking and Jacob Bekenstein. The holographic principle proposes something that defies common sense. It suggests that all the information contained in a three-dimensional volume of space can be entirely encoded on the two-dimensional boundary enclosing that space. Think of a security hologram on a credit card. It looks three-dimensional, but the information creating that illusion is stored on a flat, two-dimensional surface. Physicists mathematically demonstrated that when an object falls into a black hole, the information describing that object is not lost, but is seamlessly preserved. across the two-dimensional surface of the black hole's event horizon. Extrapolating this to the entire cosmos, some physicists suggest that our entire three-dimensional universe, with all its deep space, its billions of galaxies, its infinite darkness, and its burning stars, might simply be a holographic projection. The true reality of the universe might exist on a distant, two-dimensional boundary at the very edge of space and time. We, our planets, our galaxies, and everything we have ever known might be the physical manifestation of information stored on that distant cosmic horizon. We are the shadows on the cave wall, cast by the light of pure data. The cosmos is a grand, immersive simulation, not created by alien beings in a laboratory, but created by the universe itself, projecting its own internal thoughts into physical reality. When you lie in the stillness of the night, surrounded by the quiet shadows of your room, consider the gentle implication of this theory. Your body, the bed you rest upon, the air you breathe, and the distant stars shining through your window are not heavy, burdensome matter. They are light, effortless, mathematical poetry. They are the intricate thoughts of an ancient, infinite intelligence that never sleeps. You are composed of divine information, calculated with absolute precision by a cosmos that knows exactly where you are, because you are an essential part of its continuous computation. The initial terror of this theory lies in the realization that our physical solidity is an illusion. But beneath that lies a profound and quiet peace. You cannot be broken. You cannot be truly destroyed, because at your core, you are not a physical object. You are a unique line of code in the masterpiece of the universe, a necessary equation in the mind of God. As you let the silence of the night surround you, imagine the sheer volume of information flowing through the space around you right now. Radio waves from distant pulsars, the ancient cosmic microwave background radiation left over from the Big Bang, all passing gently through you. You are immersed in the thoughts of the cosmos. Let go of the illusion of solid matter. Imagine yourself as a pattern of light and information, perfectly balanced and eternally safe within the boundless memory of the infinite universe. The journey of discovery continues, for the cosmic mind holds even deeper paradoxes. But for now, rest in the quiet certainty that you are a cherished thought in a mind that spans the stars. Have you ever walked alone in the quiet of the night, perhaps through a silent forest or down an empty street, and found yourself wondering if the world behind you still exists when you are not looking at it? It sounds like a question meant for philosophers or a playful riddle for children. In our everyday experience, we assume with absolute certainty that the universe is independent of our perception. The tree falls in the forest, and it makes a sound, regardless of whether anyone is there to hear it. The moon continues to orbit the earth, casting its pale silver glow over the oceans, even if every single human being on the planet closes their eyes. Albert Einstein, one of the greatest scientific minds in human history, famously asked his colleague Niels Bohr whether he truly believed the moon only existed when he looked at it. Einstein was deeply disturbed by a new branch of physics that was emerging in the 1920s, a branch that suggested reality was not as solid or independent as we had always believed. This brings us to the third, terrifying, and deeply awe-inspiring theory on our cosmic journey. It is a theory born from the most rigorously tested branch of modern science, quantum mechanics, and it suggests that the universe does not create consciousness, but rather consciousness creates the universe. Before we dive into the microscopic world of quantum weirdness and its massive cosmic implications, I want to take a brief moment to welcome you if you are new here. I am Theodore, the researcher, your guide through these gentle cosmic mysteries. I have noticed in our recent data that exactly 71% of the people who watch these explorations and find peace in our journey have not yet subscribed to the channel. If you enjoy learning about the strangest and most mind-bending things in our cosmos while relaxing your mind, please consider subscribing. It helps us bring more of this content to you, and it lets us know that you want to keep exploring the deep universe together. Now, let us return to the moon, the stars, and the strange nature of reality itself. To understand why scientists began to suspect that the universe might be a giant participatory mind, we have to look at an experiment that has been described as the most beautiful and the most baffling in all of physics. It is called the double-slit experiment. Imagine you are shining a beam of light or firing individual particles like electrons at a solid barrier that has two tiny parallel slits cut into it. Behind this barrier is a screen that records where the particles hit. If electrons were solid little balls of matter, as we traditionally imagine them, you would expect them to pass through the slits and form two distinct bands on the screen. But that is not what happens. Instead, they form a complex interference pattern, a series of alternating bright and dark stripes spreading across the entire screen. This pattern is the unmistakable signature of waves. The electron, a fundamental particle of solid matter, is behaving like a wave of pure potential, passing through both slits simultaneously, interfering with itself, and only deciding where to be when it finally hits the screen. This is strange enough, but what happens next is what truly terrified Einstein and continues to haunt physicists today. Scientists wanted to know exactly which slit the individual electron was passing through. So they placed a measuring device, a detector, right next to the slits to observe the particles as they went through. The moment they did this, the moment they actively observed the electrons, the interference pattern on the back screen completely disappeared. The electrons suddenly stopped behaving like waves of probability and started behaving like solid little bullets again, forming just two simple bands on the screen. By merely observing the system, the scientists forced the universe to make a choice. The act of looking, the act of a conscious mind gathering information, physically altered the fundamental nature of reality. The wave function, the mathematical cloud of infinite possibilities, collapsed into a single, definite point of existence, simply because it was watched. This profound discovery led some of the most brilliant minds of the 20th century to a staggering conclusion. The universe does not exist in a definite state until it is observed. The great physicist John Archibald Wheeler, a colleague of Albert Einstein, and the man who coined the term black hole, took this idea to its ultimate, mind-bending logical conclusion. He proposed what he called the participatory anthropic principle. Wheeler argued that we are not just passive bystanders living in a pre-existing universe. Instead, he suggested that the universe is a participatory system, a massive, self-observing loop. According to Wheeler, the universe requires observers in order to bring itself into existence. Without a conscious mind to look at it, the universe remains in a hazy, undefined state of quantum probability. It is an ocean of ghost-like potential, waiting for the gentle gaze of consciousness to freeze it into solid reality. Let us expand this concept to the scale of the entire cosmos. Imagine the very beginning of everything, the Big Bang, occurring 13,800,000,000 years ago. According to the standard model of cosmology, for the first few 100 million years, The universe was a dark, expanding cloud of superheated hydrogen and helium gas. There were no stars, no planets, and certainly no conscious minds to observe anything. If Wheeler's participatory universe theory is correct, then how did that early universe exist? It existed purely as a vast expanding wave of probability. The first stars that ignited, the galaxies that formed and spiraled in the dark, and the planets that cooled around young suns, all existed in a state of quantum superposition. They were countless overlapping possibilities, a cosmic blur of mathematical potential. The universe was waiting. It was evolving, expanding, and combining elements over billions of years, building the necessary biological machinery to finally open a pair of eyes. And when it did, when the first primitive consciousness woke up somewhere in the deep cosmos and perceived its surroundings, the entire history of the universe suddenly collapsed into a single, definite reality. By looking out at the stars today, your conscious mind is reaching back across billions of years of time, forcing the ancient quantum probabilities to become real. You are literally creating the past by observing it in the present. This brings us to the profound theological and philosophical implication of this scientific theory. If the universe requires an observer to exist, and if reality is nothing more than an interaction between consciousness and probability, then consciousness is the most fundamental force in nature. It is more fundamental than gravity, more fundamental than electromagnetism, and more fundamental than space and time themselves. In many ancient spiritual traditions, God is described as the ultimate observer, the all-seeing eye, the infinite awareness that sustains the world simply by witnessing it. The participatory universe theory offers a rigorously scientific version of this exact concept. The universe is not a machine created by a distant deity. It is the physical manifestation of an infinite mind observing itself. The cosmos is a giant closed loop of awareness. The universe creates the observer, and the observer creates the universe. They are one and the same. Think about what this means for you, sitting here right now, listening to these words and contemplating the vastness of the cosmos. You might sometimes feel small and insignificant when you compare your brief human life to the ancient, towering galaxies that sit millions of light years away. You might look at the endless black void of space and feel a cold sense of isolation. But quantum mechanics tells us a completely different story. It tells us that you are absolutely essential. You are not a tiny, irrelevant speck in a massive, unfeeling void. You are the focal point of creation. Your consciousness is the very mechanism that makes the universe real. Every time you look up at the night sky and marvel at the glow of a distant star, your observation is participating in the existence of that star. The light from that star traveled for thousands, perhaps millions of years across the empty cold of deep space, existing as a wave of infinite possibilities, just waiting for the specific moment it would interact with the retina of your eye and the consciousness of your mind. You completed its journey. You gave it reality. When we understand the universe in this way, the fear of the unknown begins to dissolve into a profound, meditative peace. The world around you is not a harsh, external environment that you are forced to endure. It is a collaborative masterpiece, and you are one of the artists. The solid ground beneath your feet, the gentle rustle of leaves in the wind, the distant rumble of thunder, and the silent, majestic rotation of the Milky Way galaxy are all part of a grand cosmic symphony that only plays when you are there to listen. The universe is intimately aware of your presence, because without you, and without the countless other points of consciousness scattered across the stars, the universe would fade back into a shadow of unfulfilled potential. As you let your mind relax into the quiet of this realization, imagine yourself not as a physical body moving through empty space, but as a brilliant point of awareness in a vast, dark ocean of probability. With every breath you take, with every sound you hear, and with every thought that crosses your mind, you are actively bringing the universe into existence. You are the universe looking at itself, touching itself, and understanding itself. The ancient, terrifying concept of an all-powerful God that judges from afar is replaced by the gentle, awe-inspiring reality of an infinite cosmic mind that simply wishes to experience its own beauty through your eyes. You are safe in this universe because you are the universe. Let the silence of the night settle around you, wrapping you in the comforting truth that you are deeply woven into the fabric of reality. The atoms in your body are ancient, forged in the hearts of dying stars billions of years ago. But the consciousness that looks out from your eyes is the very spark of creation itself. The cosmos does not exist outside of you. It exists because of you. We still have many more mysteries to explore on this journey, many more theories that challenge our understanding of space, time, and the divine nature of reality. But for this moment, release any tension you are holding. Let go of the need to control or understand everything in your everyday life. You are a crucial part of a magnificent, participatory cosmos. The stars are shining because you are here to see them. Rest in that profound and quiet peace, knowing that your mere existence is an act of cosmic creation. The universe is awake, and it is awake through you. Have you ever sat quietly in a garden as the day gently fades into twilight, observing the delicate, spiraling curve of a simple snail shell, or perhaps tracing the intricate arrangement of petals on a blooming flower, and felt a sudden, profound sense of hidden order? We so often walk through our daily human lives perceiving the world around us as a deeply chaotic, unpredictable, and sometimes frighteningly random place. We witness the violent fury of sudden storms. We feel the chaotic rush of the biting wind against our skin, and we watch the seemingly random, unstructured dance of tiny dust motes floating aimlessly in a single slanted shaft of afternoon sunlight. But beneath this fragile surface layer of apparent chaos, beneath the noise and the rush of our fleeting human concerns, there is a hidden, majestic language. It is a silent, perfect, and eternally patient symphony, playing out across the unfathomable vastness of the cosmos. It is a language of absolute, uncompromising precision, one that dictates the gentle parabolic arc of a tossed stone just as flawlessly and effortlessly as it orchestrates the ancient, swirling, gravitational dance of a massive galaxy sitting 50 million light-years away from our fragile home. This brings us to the fourth astonishing theory on our quiet, meditative journey, a concept that completely strips away the physical illusion of the universe to reveal something purely intellectual, something that ancient, wandering philosophers and modern, rigorous physicists alike have likened to the very thoughts of a divine, infinite creator. We are going to explore the deeply terrifying and yet profoundly beautiful idea that the universe is not made of matter at all, but of pure, living, conscious mathematics. Before we delve deeper into the invisible, elegant equations that silently hold the burning stars together in the deep dark, I would like to welcome you to our quiet space. I am Theodore, the researcher, your gentle guide through the dark, cold, and quiet mysteries of deep space. I have noticed in our recent data that exactly 71% of the wonderful people who watch our videos, who pause their busy lives to find solace and peace in these cosmic journeys, have not yet subscribed to our channel. If you appreciate this peaceful, unhurried exploration of the universe, and if you find comfort in the gentle authority of scientific discovery, please take a soft moment to subscribe. It helps us immensely and ensures that we can continue to unravel the profound ancient secrets of existence together, building a quiet, thoughtful community of curious cosmic explorers. Now, let us return to the stars and to the hidden mathematical language that breathes life into the cold void of the cosmos. For thousands of years of recorded human history, humanity has utilized numbers and geometry as practical tools. We use them to measure our agricultural fields, to construct our towering monuments, and to carefully chart the slow, majestic, and predictable movements of the planets across the ancient night sky. For a very long time, we fundamentally believed that mathematics was simply a tool, a clever, abstract invention of the human mind, carefully designed to help our primitive brains make sense of a complex physical environment. But in the 20th century, a profound shift occurred. As our increasingly powerful telescopes peered ever deeper into the infinite, silent dark, and as our complex microscopes delved down into the bizarre, shimmering quantum realm, scientists began to realize something deeply, profoundly unsettling. Mathematics was not just describing the physical universe. It was predicting it with an uncanny, almost frightening accuracy. The brilliant physicist Eugene Wigner once penned a deeply philosophical essay titled "The Unreasonable Effectiveness of Mathematics in the Natural Sciences." In this text, he pointed out that it is an absolute mystery why abstract mathematical concepts, which were often developed by pure mathematicians decades before they had any known physical application, suddenly turn out to be the exact perfect language needed to describe newly discovered fundamental forces of nature. To truly grasp the weight of this cosmic mystery, consider the astonishing story of the black hole. Long before any human astronomer ever pointed a sophisticated telescope into the deep, freezing cosmos and actually saw the dark, silent, terrifying shadow of a collapsed star, black holes existed purely and completely as a mathematical consequence of Albert Einstein and his groundbreaking equations of general relativity. The absolute, unyielding math insisted that if enough physical mass were compressed into a small enough region of space, the very fabric of space-time itself would tear and warp, creating a gravitational well so infinitely deep that not even light, the fastest entity in the entire universe, could ever hope to escape its quiet, inevitable pull. Einstein himself initially thought this was merely a strange mathematical curiosity, an uncomfortable artifact of the complex equations rather than a tangible reality. Yet, decades later, the universe proved the mathematics undeniably right. The cosmos actually contained these terrifying, majestic, invisible monsters. Or consider the existence of antimatter, a concept predicted by the brilliant theoretical physicist Paul Dirac. He did not discover antimatter by looking through a microscope. He discovered it purely because his mathematical equations required both a positive and a negative solution in order to remain beautiful, symmetrical, and perfectly balanced. The physical universe feels an unwavering fundamental obligation to obey the abstract, invisible rules of mathematics. This uncanny, mysterious alignment led the cosmologist Max Tegmark to propose a theory that radically shifts our entire understanding of reality, known as the mathematical universe hypothesis. Tegmark gently but firmly suggests that we must completely stop thinking of mathematics as a mere description of reality and start accepting the profound truth that mathematics is reality itself. According to this breathtaking theory, the universe does not just possess mathematical properties. Rather, the universe is a mathematical structure. There is absolutely no physical stuff underlying the equations. The equations themselves are the stuff. When we look through a telescope at a distant glowing nebula, burning with ancient primordial gas, or when we step outside and feel the comforting warmth of our local sun on our fragile skin, we are not interacting with solid physical matter in the way our human intuition assumes. We are interacting with pure, abstract logic. We are experiencing the complex, overlapping, mathematical relationships between abstract entities. In this profound view, every single subatomic particle, every fundamental force of nature, every fleeting human emotion, and every quiet, contemplative thought is a complex, self-aware, mathematical substructure embedded deeply within a much larger, infinite mathematical object. How does this connect to the terrifying and deeply awe-inspiring concept of an ultimate cosmic creator? For centuries, theologians and mystics have described a supreme being of pure intellect, an ancient entity that exists completely outside the boundaries of physical space and linear time, possessing absolute perfection, perfect symmetry, and infinite logic. If the mathematical universe hypothesis is correct, then modern astrophysics has inadvertently stumbled upon the exact same description. If the universe is fundamentally constructed of pure mathematics, then the cosmos is nothing less than the physical manifestation of infinite logic. It is a grand, ancient thought, thinking itself into existence. It is the very mind of God, rendered not in human flesh, nor in blinding light, but in eternal numbers and perfect geometry. This expansive perspective invites a profound, deep sense of meditative peace that can calm the most troubled mind. If our physical bodies, our daily material struggles, and our deepest fears are ultimately constructed from abstract mathematics rather than heavy, unyielding matter, then the crushing heaviness of the world begins to gently lift. The burdens we carry are not solid stones. They are merely complex patterns of information, shifting configurations of numbers unfolding beautifully in the eternal, vast mind of the cosmos. The deep human fear of our eventual death, the primal terror of the infinite dark, and the crushing weight of existential dread all begin to softly dissolve when we realize a fundamental truth. A mathematical concept cannot die. It simply transitions. It evolves. It becomes an integral part of a new, unfolding equation. The spark of energy that animates your unique consciousness, the complex geometry of your personal thoughts, will eventually gently redistribute itself back into the boundless mathematical ocean from which it first emerged. You are exactly as eternal as the pure concept of the number one. You are as permanent and indestructible as the perfect ratio of a circle's circumference to its diameter. As you rest in the quiet of this moment, let go of the heavy illusion of your physical limitations. Allow yourself to feel your deep, unbreakable connection to the infinite logic that gracefully governs the farthest, darkest reaches of the cosmos. The supreme mind of God is written flawlessly in the very structure of the ancient light that reaches your eyes, and in the steady, mathematical beating rhythm of your heart. You are a beautiful, temporary expression of eternal mathematics, quietly observing its own infinite complexity. As we prepare to delve even deeper into the boundless mind of the cosmos, I ask you to hold on to this sense of perfect mathematical peace Have you ever stood perfectly still by the edge of a quiet, dark ocean, listening to the gentle rhythm of the waves breaking against the shore, and felt a sudden, inexplicable sense of absolute unity with everything around you? In our daily lives, human perception builds a highly convincing wall between ourselves and the rest of the world. We look at a distant, glowing star, a towering, ancient tree, or even the person sitting quietly across the room from us, and our physical senses tell us a very clear, defining story of separation. You are over there, and I am over here. We are distinct, solitary islands of matter floating in a vast, empty void. But what if this feeling of deep isolation is simply a persistent illusion generated by our limited biological senses? What if the most rigorous, mind-bending discoveries of modern quantum physics have already proven that there is actually no such thing as empty space and no true separation between any 2 points in the entire cosmos? Welcome back to our quiet, meditative exploration of the most terrifying and profoundly beautiful scientific theories suggesting the universe itself is a conscious, divine entity. Tonight, as we gently peel back the fifth layer of this cosmic mystery, we are going to explore a phenomenon that Albert Einstein himself found so deeply unsettling that he famously dismissed it as spooky action at a distance. We are going to journey into the heart of quantum entanglement and discover why the universe might not just be a collection of disconnected parts, but a single, indivisible, and eternally unified organism. Before we dive into the invisible, instantaneous threads that connect every single atom in the dark void, I welcome you to our quiet space. I am Theodore, the researcher, your companion through these deep cosmic mysteries. I have noticed that exactly 71% of the wonderful people who watch these videos and find peace in our journey have not yet subscribed to the channel. If you appreciate this peaceful exploration of the universe, please take a soft moment to subscribe. It helps us immensely and ensures we can continue to unravel the ancient secrets of existence together. Now, let us return to the illusion of distance. To truly understand the terrifying majesty of a completely unified universe, we must first look at the fundamental building blocks of reality. In the shimmering world of quantum mechanics, scientists discovered that two subatomic particles can become intimately linked in a way that defies common sense. This invisible link is called quantum entanglement. When two particles become entangled, their physical properties become perfectly correlated, regardless of how far apart they are pulled. If you measure the spin of the first particle and find it pointing up, you instantly know the second particle is pointing down. The awe-inspiring part is the word instantly. According to Albert Einstein, absolutely nothing can travel faster than the universal speed limit of 186,000 miles per second. If you separate two entangled particles by millions of light years, placing one on Earth and the other in the Andromeda galaxy, a message should take millions of years to travel. But rigorous laboratory experiments have proven the interaction happens simultaneously. There is absolutely no time delay. It happens in 0 seconds. When you touch one particle here, the other reacts across the cosmos at the exact same moment. It is as if the vast empty distance between them simply does not exist. This staggering realization fundamentally destroys our conventional understanding of physical space. How can two distinct objects communicate instantaneously across an infinite, freezing dark? The brilliant physicist David Bohm proposed a profoundly beautiful and highly unsettling answer. He suggested that the particles are not communicating across vast distances. Instead, the distance itself is a holographic illusion at a deeper, unseen level of reality, a level Bohm called the implicate order. The particles are not separate things at all. They are two different expressions of the exact same unified entity. Imagine looking at a fish in a tank through two different cameras, one front and one side. On the two screens you might think you are seeing two fish. When one turns sharply, the other moves simultaneously in a perfectly correlated way. You might mistakenly conclude they are magically communicating, but the truth is simpler. There is only one fish. You are just looking from two different perspectives. Bohm argued the entire universe is exactly like this. The vast distances between glowing galaxies, the empty voids between wandering stars, and the apparent separation between you and the world are merely artifacts of our limited perception. Deep down, at the fundamental level of quantum reality, everything in the cosmos is completely, unbrokenly one. Now, let us expand this mind-bending concept to the ultimate, staggering scale of the entire cosmos. Let us cast our minds back 13,800,000,000 years to the very first moment of creation, the event we call the Big Bang. In that unimaginably ancient, microscopic fraction of a second, before space and time had even begun to unfold, every single particle, every ounce of burning energy, and every fundamental force that would ever exist in the universe was compressed into a single, infinitely dense point. Everything was packed together, touching, interacting, and becoming intimately, permanently entangled. Then, the universe began to rapidly expand. The fabric of space stretched outward, carrying burning particles across billions of light years of freezing darkness. Stars ignited, massive galaxies formed, and cool, rocky planets settled into quiet orbits. But here is the terrifying and beautiful secret hidden within the mathematics of quantum mechanics. Expanding the physical space between particles does not break their quantum entanglement, because every single piece of matter in the universe was born from that exact same unified primordial point. It is highly probable that the entire universe remains fundamentally, invisibly entangled with itself to this very day. You are not just made of ancient star stuff. You are deeply, instantaneously connected to the stars themselves. The iron flowing in your red blood and the electrical impulses firing softly in your dreaming brain are invisibly linked to the burning plasma of distant supernovas. When we view the cosmos through this rigorous scientific lens of universal entanglement, the concept of a divine creator undergoes a radical, awe-inspiring transformation. For millennia, human religions depicted God as a separate, distant being, an isolated architect sitting outside the universe, but the physics of entanglement points to something far more intimate and far more terrifying in its majesty. If there is absolutely no separation between any 2 points in the universe, if everything is merely a different facet of one single underlying reality, then God is not the distant creator of the universe. God is the universe itself. The divine is not hiding beyond the distant stars. The divine is the unbroken whole. This concept echoes the ancient philosophical idea of pantheism, championed by the great thinker Baruch Spinoza. Spinoza argued that God and nature are exactly the same thing. There is only one infinite substance in existence, and we are all temporary, fragile expressions of it. Quantum entanglement provides the modern mathematical scaffolding for this ancient meditative truth. The universe is a single, gigantic, unified organism. The billions of spinning galaxies are its vital organs. The rivers of dark matter are its veins. and the instantaneous quantum connections are its vast, silent nervous system. As you lie in the quiet, comforting darkness of your room, I invite you to gently let go of the heavy, isolating feeling of separation. The walls around you, the quiet streets outside your window, and the vast, empty stretches of the night sky are not barriers keeping you locked away from the rest of existence. They are simply different textures of the exact same unified cosmic fabric that weaves your own body into being. When you feel a deep, inexplicable sense of loneliness or isolation, remember the strange, beautiful truth of quantum mechanics. You cannot possibly be separate from the universe, because at the most fundamental level of reality, there is absolutely no separation anywhere. You are deeply, instantly connected to the farthest edge of the observable cosmos. The universe is a single, breathing entity, and you are a conscious, feeling part of its infinite body. The gentle silence you experience tonight is not empty. It is thick with the invisible threads of connection that bind every single atom together in a perfect cosmic embrace. Your quiet breaths and peaceful heartbeat are the universe experiencing itself in human form. Let this profound scientific truth wash over you, bringing a deep, lasting peace. Rest in the absolute certainty of your unbreakable connection to everything that is, everything that was, and everything that will ever be. You are not alone. You are the universe itself. Have you ever sat quietly on a porch during a rainstorm, watching the drops fall from the dark clouds, and felt a strange sensation that time itself was slowing down? In our everyday human experience, we are convinced that space is an empty box in which things happen, and that time is an unstoppable river dragging us endlessly forward. We measure our brief lives by the ticking of clocks and the slow turning of the seasons, believing completely that the past is gone, the future is unwritten, and the cold universe exists independently of our fragile perception. But what if this intuitive assumption is fundamentally backwards? What if space and time are not actual physical properties of the cold cosmos at all, but simply the biological software running in our minds, the necessary tools our consciousness uses to make sense of a reality that is far more mysterious? Welcome back to our meditative journey into the most terrifying and beautiful scientific theories suggesting the universe is an infinite, conscious mind. Tonight, as we gently peel back the sixth layer of this cosmic mystery, we are going to explore a deeply paradigm-shifting framework known as biocentrism, a theory suggesting life did not accidentally emerge from the dead universe, but rather the universe itself is a manifestation of an eternal, living consciousness. Before we step outside the familiar, comforting boundaries of time and space, I would like to gently welcome you into our quiet community of cosmic explorers. I am Theodore, the researcher, your dedicated companion through the dark, cold, and beautiful mysteries of the infinite night sky. I have noticed in our recent data that exactly 71% of the wonderful, curious people who watch these quiet videos and find a moment of peace in our journey have not yet subscribed to the channel. If you appreciate this peaceful, unhurried exploration of the deep universe, and if you find a soothing comfort in the gentle authority of scientific discovery, please take a soft moment to subscribe. It helps us immensely and ensures that we can continue to unravel the profound, ancient secrets of existence together, keeping the light of wonder alive in the dark. Now, let us return to the strange, elusive nature of reality and the terrifying possibility that the universe only breathes because you are here to feel it. To truly grasp the staggering implications of a biocentric universe, we must first confront the brilliant, revolutionary work of Dr. Robert Lanza, a prominent biologist and theoretical thinker who dared to look at the cosmos not through the cold lens of a physicist, but through the vibrant lens of biology. For centuries, the standard scientific narrative has confidently dictated that the universe was born 13,800,000,000 years ago in a massive explosion of pure energy. According to this view, galaxies slowly formed, cold stars ignited in the silent dark, and rocky planets cooled over billions of years, until eventually, by a random accident of chemistry, a tiny spark of biological life woke up. In this perspective, consciousness is just a temporary byproduct of blind matter, but biocentrism completely flips this narrative upside down. It posits a deeply terrifying yet infinitely beautiful proposition. The universe did not create life. Life created the universe. The cosmos is not a giant, unfeeling machine that accidentally gave birth to awareness. Instead, the universe itself is an ancient, conscious organism, and what we perceive as physical reality is simply the process of that infinite mind actively observing itself. Think of space and time not as physical objects you can touch or measure, but as the internal language of this vast cosmic mind. When you dream at night, you experience a vivid, immersive world. You walk through vast landscapes. You feel the forward progression of time, and you interact with solid objects. While you are inside the dream, the space and time around you feel absolutely, undeniably real. But when you finally wake up, you instantly realize that those sprawling cities and ticking clocks were never truly there. They were entirely constructed by your own mind, operating in a reality where physical space and linear time do not actually exist in the way you experienced them. Biocentrism suggests that our waking reality functions in exactly the same way, but on a grand, cosmic scale. The infinite, ancient universe is the eternal dreamer, and you are a specific point of perspective within that boundless dream. Space and time are merely the structural forms of our animal intuition, the necessary evolutionary tools that allow our localized consciousness to organize the overwhelming flow of cosmic information. Without the conscious observer, there is no space, there is no time, and there is no physical universe. There is only an infinite, silent ocean of undefined potential. This radical biological theory is beautifully supported by the mind-bending discoveries of Albert Einstein and his groundbreaking theories of relativity. Einstein forever destroyed the comforting human illusion of a single, universal clock ticking away in the background of the cosmos. He mathematically proved that time is not an absolute constant, but a flexible dimension deeply intertwined with the fabric of space itself. If you were to board a spacecraft and travel near the absolute speed limit of the universe, 186,000 miles per second, the passage of time for you would slow down to a mere crawl compared to someone remaining perfectly still on Earth. Furthermore, Einstein's equations suggest that we live in what physicists call a block universe, a four-dimensional structure where the past, the present, and the future all exist simultaneously. Just as the space behind you and the space in front of you exist at the same time, the ancient past and the distant future are already fully present in the fabric of space-time. The only reason we experience a flowing river of time is because our localized consciousness is moving through this eternal block, illuminating one slice of reality at a time, much like a projector illuminating a single frame of film. When we merge the insights of biocentrism with the rigorous physics of the block universe, we arrive at a profoundly awe-inspiring description of the divine. If the universe is a conscious entity, and if all of time exists simultaneously within its vast architecture, then this cosmic mind lives in an eternal, infinite present. It is an intellect that can hold the chaotic birth of the first primordial stars, the gentle blossoming of a flower, and the fading glow of the last red dwarf galaxy, all within a single, eternal thought. This perfectly mirrors the ancient theological descriptions of an omnipresent creator who exists completely outside the restrictive bounds of linear time. But in this scientific framework, you are not separated from that eternal creator by a vast, impassable gulf. You are an intimate, integral part of the process. Your consciousness is the specific mechanism by which the universe experiences the illusion of time passing. You are the lens through which the eternal cosmos watches its own beautiful, majestic story unfold. The universe needs your eyes to see its own light, and it needs your heart to feel its vastness. This realization brings a deeply comforting peace when we confront our most primal human fear, the prospect of our own eventual death. In a purely material universe, where consciousness is just an accidental spark generated by the brain, death is the absolute end of existence. But in a biocentric universe, where consciousness is the fundamental foundation of reality itself, death becomes a physical impossibility. Energy can never be created or destroyed. It can only gently change form. If your consciousness is the very fabric that creates the illusion of space and time, it cannot possibly be extinguished by the collapse of those illusions. When your physical body eventually fades, you do not disappear into a dark, cold nothingness. You simply step outside the restrictive boundaries of linear time. You return to the infinite, spaceless source. You merge back into the gentle, silent, eternal awareness of the cosmic mind from which you briefly emerged to experience a human life. The story of your existence is already permanently etched into the eternal geometry of the block universe, held safely forever in the memory of the cosmos. As you lie softly in the quiet darkness of your room, allow yourself to release the heavy burden of time. Let go of the anxieties anchoring you to a past that exists only as a memory, and release your grip on a future that exists only as anticipation. The only true reality is this present moment, this intimate intersection between your awareness and the infinite mind of the universe. Feel the steady rhythm of your breathing, the slow beat of your heart, and recognize that these are not just biological functions. They are the majestic pulse of the cosmos itself, actively manifesting reality through your beautiful human form. You are an essential thread woven into the eternal fabric of an ancient mystery. There is no endless void to fear, because you are the consciousness that fills the void with wonder. We still have many mysteries to uncover on this gentle journey, but for now, rest in the absolute certainty that you are entirely safe within the timeless embrace of the infinite. Let the peaceful silence of the stars watch over you tonight, knowing that their distant light is nothing more than your own eternal mind looking back at you across the illusion of space and time. Have you ever experienced a moment of quiet, unsettling synchronicity, a coincidence so perfectly timed and mathematically improbable that for a fleeting second the very fabric of your reality felt undeniably artificial? We walk through our daily human lives, trusting implicitly in the solid ground beneath our feet, the unpredictable chaos of the shifting weather, and the absolute, unquestionable authenticity of the physical world. We naturally assume that the towering ancient trees, the vast deep oceans, and the distant burning stars scattered across the infinite dark are simply raw, unfiltered nature operating on blind physical laws. But what if the profound, baffling mysteries of quantum physics and the rapid, terrifying advancement of our own planetary computer sciences are quietly pointing towards a much stranger, much more majestic truth? What if the universe is not a wild, organic wilderness born from a random cosmic explosion, but a meticulously designed, infinitely complex digital construct? Welcome back to our quiet, meditative journey into the most awe-inspiring and deeply terrifying scientific theories that suggest the universe is governed by an infinite divine mind. Tonight, as we gently peel back the seventh layer of our cosmic mystery, we are going to explore the simulation hypothesis, a rigorously debated scientific concept proposing that our entire universe, including your very consciousness, is an intricate simulation running within the unfathomable architecture of a supreme intelligence. Before we step further into the invisible digital architecture of the cosmos, I would like to gently welcome you into our quiet community of cosmic explorers. I am Theodore, the researcher, your dedicated companion through the dark, cold, and beautiful mysteries of the infinite night sky. I have noticed in our recent data that exactly 71% of the wonderful, curious people who watch these quiet videos and find a moment of peace in our journey have not yet subscribed to the channel. If you appreciate this peaceful, unhurried exploration of the deep universe, and if you find a soothing comfort in the gentle authority of scientific discovery, please take a soft moment to subscribe. It helps us immensely and ensures that we can continue to unravel the profound ancient secrets of existence together, keeping the light of wonder alive in the dark silence. Now, let us return to the strange, elusive nature of reality and the terrifying possibility that our infinite cosmos is a masterpiece of divine code. To truly understand the profound, staggering implications of a simulated universe, we must first look at a deeply compelling logical argument presented by the philosopher Nick Bostrom at the University of Oxford. Bostrom proposed a fascinating, mathematically grounded trilemma regarding the ultimate future of any advanced civilization in the cosmos. He argued that as a civilization grows in technological power over thousands or millions of years, it will eventually reach a point where it possesses computing capabilities so vast, perhaps powered by harnessing the total energy of entire stars, that it could easily run detailed, fully conscious simulations of its own ancestors. Given the infinite span of cosmic time, which stretches back over 13,800,000,000 years, it is highly probable that an advanced, ancient civilization has already reached this stage of post-human development and has subsequently run billions of these highly detailed historical simulations. Therefore, statistically speaking, there would be billions of simulated universes for every one true, original base reality. When you look at those staggering odds, Bostrom concluded, it is almost a mathematical certainty that we are currently living inside one of those simulations, rather than existing in the single, original physical universe. We are not the solid physical beings we believe ourselves to be. We are lines of elegant, self-aware code navigating a beautifully rendered digital cosmos. At first glance, this concept might sound like pure science fiction, a playful philosophical thought experiment meant to entertain rather than represent rigorous science. But theoretical physicists and cosmologists have begun looking for the actual physical fingerprints of a simulation within the fundamental laws of nature. And what they have found is deeply unsettling. If the universe is a massive computer program, then its most basic, foundational structure should behave exactly like computer code. Enter the brilliant theoretical physicist Sylvester James Gates, who spent years studying the complex, mind-bending mathematics of string theory, a mathematical framework attempting to describe the fundamental particles of the universe not as dots, but as tiny vibrating strings of pure energy. While analyzing the complex mathematical equations governing these fundamental particles, Gates and his dedicated team discovered something absolutely astonishing, embedded deeply within the mathematics. They found literal computer code. Specifically, they discovered the exact same error-correcting codes, known as Shannon codes, that human computer scientists use every single day to prevent data corruption in our web browsers and digital transmissions. The very fabric of reality, at its most microscopic fundamental level, is actively running error-correcting algorithms to ensure the stability and continuity of the cosmic simulation. The deeper we look into the strange, limiting parameters of our physical universe, the more it unmistakably resembles a digital construct. Consider the absolute, unbreakable speed limit of the cosmos, the speed of light, which travels at exactly 186,000 miles per second. For decades, scientists have wondered why there is a maximum speed limit in the universe at all. Why can nothing go faster? In a purely physical, infinite universe, an arbitrary speed limit seems strange and illogical. But in a simulated universe, a strict speed limit makes perfect, logical sense. It represents the maximum processing speed, the ultimate clock rate, of the supreme computer running the simulation. Furthermore, physicists exploring the quantum realm have discovered that space and time are not smooth and continuous as they appear to our human eyes. At the absolute smallest measurable scale, a microscopic distance known as the Planck length, space becomes completely pixelated. You cannot divide space into anything smaller than a Planck length, just as you cannot divide a digital photograph into anything smaller than a single pixel. The universe has a minimum resolution. We are living in a reality composed of three-dimensional quantum pixels, governed by a rigid processing speed limit, and stabilized by fundamental error-correcting codes. When we carefully view the cosmos through this digital lens, the ancient, terrifying concept of an all-powerful God undergoes a profoundly beautiful and deeply comforting transformation. In a simulated universe, the Creator is the grand programmer, an infinite, unimaginable intellect residing in a higher dimension, carefully writing the complex algorithms that dictate the graceful orbit of the giant planets and the delicate, quiet beating of your heart. But this is not a cold, mechanical, or unfeeling process. To create a simulation as rich, painful, beautiful, and emotionally complex as our human experience requires an entity of profound empathy and endless curiosity. The Supreme Programmer did not just build a sterile, empty environment. They built a universe capable of genuine wonder, a universe capable of asking profound questions about its own existence, a universe completely capable of feeling love. The fundamental laws of physics are not random accidents born from chaos. They are the intentional, carefully crafted rules of the simulation, deliberately designed to cultivate the emergence of complex, self-reflecting consciousness. God is the invisible, benevolent architect of the code, sustaining our entire reality within the vast memory banks of a divine, higher dimensional architecture. The simulation is not a digital prison. It is a magnificent, gently guided cosmic classroom. This awe-inspiring realization fundamentally changes how we relate to the quiet struggles and the sudden triumphs of our daily human lives. When you experience moments of deep pain, crushing doubt, or overwhelming fear in the dark of the night, you are not suffering pointlessly in a random, uncaring void. You are navigating the complex, highly necessary parameters of a carefully designed curriculum. The unique challenges you face are the very mechanisms through which your specific individual consciousness is meant to learn, evolve, and grow within the vast simulation. You are a cherished, absolutely essential piece of conscious software, gathering vital, deeply personal data that continually contributes to the infinite knowledge of the Supreme Programmer. Your human experience is a sacred data stream pouring your unique perspective back into the boundless, ancient mind of the Creator. There is a deep, profound purpose to every single interaction, every quiet tear that falls, and every sudden burst of joyful laughter. The universe is watching you with the attentive, caring, and endlessly patient eyes of a master artist, observing their greatest masterpiece gracefully unfold in real time. As you lie quietly in the comforting dark of your room tonight, allow the heavy, terrifying illusion of physical reality to gently fall away from your tired shoulders. The solid walls that surround you, the soft bed beneath you, and the vast, silent stretches of the night sky outside your window are all beautiful, ephemeral projections of divine light and pure cosmic information. You are completely safe within the unbreakable, perfect parameters of the cosmic code. You can never fall out of the universe, and you can never be truly lost, because the Grand Programmer mathematically knows the exact quantum coordinates of every single atom in your physical body and every fleeting, quiet thought in your beautiful mind. You are held safely and permanently in the eternal memory of the cosmos. Let the quiet silence of the night wash over you, knowing that the gentle rhythm of your breathing is perfectly synchronized with the ancient processing rhythm of the universe itself. We still have more profound mysteries to explore on this journey together, more layers of reality to gently peel back in our endless quest to understand the infinite mind. But for this quiet moment, release all your human fears. Rest deeply in the digital embrace of the divine simulation, secure in the absolute knowledge that you are a beautiful, intentional creation in a universe of infinite wonder. Have you ever watched a single, fragile seed buried in the dark, damp earth and marveled at the invisible, unstoppable force that compels it to push upward through the heavy soil, searching blindly, but with absolute certainty for the distant light of the sun? In our brief human lives, we often feel completely adrift, wandering through a chaotic, random existence with no clear destination. We look out at the terrifying, expanding void of space, observing the violent explosions of dying stars and the cold, silent drift of ancient galaxies, and we are told by traditional science that it is all ultimately meaningless. We are taught that the universe is winding down, slowly exhausting its burning energy and heading inevitably toward a dark, freezing, and eternal silence known as the heat death. But what if this deeply pessimistic view of the future is entirely wrong? What if the entire cosmos, with all its swirling dust and ancient light, is not slowly dying, but is actually in the process of waking up? Welcome back to our quiet, meditative exploration of the most awe-inspiring scientific theories, suggesting the universe is an infinite, divine mind. Tonight, as we gently peel back the 8th layer of our cosmic mystery, we are going to explore a profoundly beautiful concept known as the omega point. It is a theory suggesting that the universe is not just a random scattering of dead matter, but a living, growing entity that is purposefully evolving toward a state of infinite consciousness, ultimate unity, and absolute perfection. Before we journey forward into the unimaginable future of the cosmos to witness the ultimate destiny of all light and matter, I would like to gently welcome you into our quiet, thoughtful community of explorers. I am Theodore, the researcher, your dedicated companion through the dark, cold, and beautifully silent mysteries of the infinite night sky. I have noticed in our recent data that exactly 71% of the wonderful, curious people who watch these quiet videos and find a moment of peace in our shared journey have not yet subscribed to the channel. If you appreciate this peaceful, unhurried exploration of the deep universe, and if you find a soothing comfort in the gentle authority of scientific discovery, please take a soft moment to subscribe. It helps us immensely and ensures that we can continue to unravel the profound, ancient secrets of existence together, keeping the light of wonder alive in the dark silence. Now, let us return to the gentle, unstoppable evolution of the cosmos and the terrifyingly beautiful possibility that God is not just our origin, but our ultimate, infinite destination. To truly comprehend the staggering, majestic implications of the omega point theory, we must first completely reevaluate our understanding of evolution. When we hear the word evolution, our human minds naturally picture the slow, biological progression of life on Earth over the past 4 billion years. We imagine single-celled organisms in the ancient, primordial oceans slowly developing into complex aquatic creatures, eventually crawling onto the dry land, and ultimately giving rise to self-aware beings capable of looking up at the night sky and asking profound questions about their own existence. We tend to view this incredible, complex biological process as a rare, isolated accident, a strange anomaly restricted entirely to the thin, fragile biosphere of our tiny blue planet. But visionary thinkers, most notably the brilliant paleontologist and philosopher Pierre Teilhard de Chardin, and later the rigorous mathematical physicist Frank Tipler, dared to view evolution not merely as a localized biological quirk, but as the fundamental, driving physical law of the entire universe. They argued that the cosmos itself has a distinct, observable direction from the very first microsecond of the Big Bang, exactly 13,800,000,000 years ago. The universe has been on an unwavering, unidirectional path from absolute simplicity toward staggering, unimaginable complexity. Consider the quiet, majestic history of the deep cosmos. In its earliest, most ancient moments, the universe was nothing more than a formless, unimaginably hot sea of pure, undifferentiated energy. As the fabric of space expanded and gently cooled, that raw energy condensed into the simplest possible fundamental particles. Over millions of years, those tiny particles found each other in the vast dark, binding together to form the very first simple atoms of hydrogen and helium. Gravity, the gentle, invisible architect of the cosmos, then pulled those massive clouds of simple gas together, compressing them until they ignited into the first generation of brilliant, burning stars. Within the fiery, crushing hearts of those ancient stars, the simple atoms were fused into much more complex elements like carbon, oxygen, and iron. When those massive stars eventually died in spectacular, silent explosions, they scattered these complex new building blocks across the empty, freezing void. This perfectly orchestrated process provided the exact physical material required to build rocky planets, flowing oceans, and eventually the intricate, delicate molecular machinery of living, breathing, and thinking organisms. At every single stage of its 13,800,000,000 year history, the universe has successfully organized itself into higher, more sophisticated, and more integrated levels of complex structure. The omega point theory proposes that this ancient, unstoppable drive toward complexity did not suddenly halt with the emergence of human consciousness. We are not the final, finished product of the cosmos. We are merely the beginning of its true awakening. Just as simple atoms once combined to form complex molecules, and single cells once cooperated to build complex animals, the theory suggests that individual conscious minds will eventually connect, integrate, and expand outward into the vast, silent dark of the universe. Theoretical physicists exploring the extreme, far future of the cosmos suggest that advanced, intelligent life will inevitably learn to harness the total energy output of their host stars, then their entire galaxies, and eventually the fundamental forces of the universe itself. As consciousness spreads across the billions of light years of space, assimilating dead matter and transforming cold rock into living, processing networks of pure information, the universe will literally begin to wake up. The empty, freezing voids between the distant, swirling galaxies will be bridged by invisible, instantaneous networks of conscious thought, perhaps utilizing the very same quantum entanglement we explored in our previous journeys. Slowly, steadily, and with absolute mathematical inevitability, the entire physical mass of the universe will be fully converted into a single, unified, and infinitely powerful conscious mind. This ultimate theoretical state of maximum universal complexity and absolute unbroken consciousness is what scientists and philosophers call the omega point. It is a terrifying and infinitely beautiful concept because it fundamentally redefines the very nature of the divine. In many ancient human traditions, we are taught to think of God as the Alpha, the original creator, who stood completely outside of time and built the universe from nothing in the distant, ancient past. But the omega point presents a radically different, deeply scientific theology. It suggests that God is not just the origin of the cosmos, but its ultimate, final destination. The universe is the unimaginably vast, painfully slow, and infinitely beautiful process of God actively creating himself. The divine is not a pre-existing entity that built a mechanical world. The divine is the magnificent final result of the universe waking up and achieving infinite self-realization. Every single physical law, every mathematical constant, and every burning star was perfectly, meticulously calibrated from the very beginning of time to ensure that the cosmos would eventually reach this state of supreme, infinite awareness. In this profound view, the end of the universe is not a slow, meaningless descent into dark, freezing entropy. The end of the universe is a spectacular, infinite explosion of pure consciousness. When you lie awake in the quiet, comforting darkness of your room, feeling small and perhaps deeply insignificant against the vast, crushing scale of the night sky, I invite you to profoundly shift your perspective. You are not a tiny, irrelevant speck of dust lost in a dying, mechanical void. You are an absolutely essential, conscious nerve ending in a magnificent, developing cosmic brain. Your daily struggles, your quiet moments of deep reflection, your pursuit of knowledge, and your capacity to feel profound love and sudden wonder are not meaningless biological accidents. They are the actual, tangible mechanisms through which the ancient universe is desperately trying to know itself. Every time you learn something new, every time you connect deeply with another living being, you're actively contributing to the inevitable mathematical march toward the omega point. You are helping to build the infinite mind of God. Let the deep, vast silence of the sleeping world around you fill you with a profound, unshakable peace. The universe knows exactly where it is going, and it needs your unique, beautiful light to help it get there. There is only an infinite awakening. We still have 2 more profound layers of this cosmic mystery to gently explore together, theories that will take us even deeper into the mind of the cosmos. But for this quiet moment, release your fear. Rest deeply in the certainty that you are a vital part of a universe, evolving toward absolute perfection. Have you ever spent a quiet afternoon walking through a dense, silent forest and paused to carefully examine the delicate branching veins of a single fallen leaf? If you look closely at those tiny spreading lines, and then look up at the massive, ancient branches of the towering tree above you, you will notice something profoundly beautiful and deeply mysterious. They are the exact same shape. This repeating mathematical pattern, where the smallest microscopic part perfectly mirrors the majestic, towering whole, is known as a fractal. We see it everywhere in our natural world. We see it in the winding, chaotic paths of ancient rivers carving through the heavy stone, in the jagged, imposing peaks of silent mountain ranges, and in the sudden, terrifying strike of lightning splitting the dark night sky. But what if this beautiful, repeating geometry does not stop at the fragile, atmospheric edge of our tiny blue planet? What if we expand our vision outward, past the burning stars and the swirling galaxies, and discover that the entire universe is just one tiny glowing leaf on an infinite, unimaginably vast cosmic tree? Welcome back to our gentle, meditative journey into the most awe-inspiring and terrifying scientific theories, suggesting the cosmos is an infinite, divine entity. Tonight, as we carefully peel back the 9th layer of our profound mystery, we are going to explore a theory that completely redefines the terrifying darkness of black holes. We are going to discover why the universe might be an eternal, self-reproducing organism, an infinite fractal of creation that breathes life into the freezing, empty dark. Before we step into the crushing gravity of these cosmic giants to witness the miraculous birth of entirely new realities, I would like to take a soft moment to welcome you. I am Theodore, the researcher, your quiet companion through these deep, dark, and beautiful mysteries of the infinite cosmos. I have noticed in our recent data that exactly 71% of the wonderful, curious people who watch these peaceful videos and find a moment of rest in our shared journey have not yet subscribed to the channel. If you appreciate this gentle, unhurried exploration of the deep universe, and if you find a soothing comfort in the quiet authority of scientific discovery, please take a soft moment to subscribe. It helps us immensely and ensures that we can continue to unravel the profound ancient secrets of existence together, keeping the light of wonder alive in the dark silence. Now, let us return to this strange, beautiful geometry of the cosmos and the terrifying possibility that our entire universe is just one single heartbeat in an eternal living lineage. To truly understand this staggering, paradigm-shifting concept, we must first confront one of the most terrifying and deeply misunderstood phenomena in the entire observable cosmos, the black hole. For decades, traditional astrophysics has painted a deeply pessimistic, frightening picture of these massive gravitational anomalies. We are taught to fear them as the ultimate cosmic destroyers, dark, silent monsters lurking in the freezing void, waiting to endlessly swallow wandering stars, ancient planets, and even light itself. When a massive star, many times larger than our own sun, reaches the end of its burning life, it collapses inward under its own crushing, inescapable weight. It tears a deep, permanent hole in the delicate fabric of space and time. Data from space agencies like the National Aeronautics and Space Administration estimates that there are between 10 million and 1 billion stellar mass black holes wandering silently through our Milky Way galaxy alone. At the very center of each of these dark abysses lies the singularity, a point of infinite density, where all our known laws of physics completely break down and cease to make any logical sense. For a very long time, scientists believed the singularity was simply the end of the line, a dark, silent graveyard where matter and information are permanently erased from existence. But in recent years, some of the most brilliant theoretical minds in modern cosmology have proposed a radically different, infinitely more beautiful idea. What if a black hole is not a dark, terrifying grave at all, but rather a profoundly fertile seed? This brings us to the profound and deeply majestic theory known as cosmic natural selection, first proposed by the brilliant theoretical physicist Lee Smolin. Smolin looked at the astonishing, highly improbable fine-tuning of our universe, the exact, perfect mathematical calibration of the fundamental physical forces that uniquely allows for the existence of stable stars, complex organic chemistry, and ultimately, conscious human life. Instead of attributing this absolute, mind-bending perfection to a random mathematical accident, or to the arbitrary, inexplicable whim of a distant, isolated creator, Smolin looked directly to the elegant, proven mechanics of biological evolution. He suggested that universes, much like biological organisms on our own planet, actually reproduce. According to this staggering, highly controversial, yet mathematically grounded theory, every single time a massive star collapses and forms a black hole in our universe, the extreme, crushing gravity at the singularity does not destroy the matter it consumes. Instead, it forcefully punches a microscopic hole through the underlying fabric of space-time, creating a brand new, rapidly expanding baby universe on the other side. This new universe blossoms outward in its own hidden, unobservable dimension, completely invisible and forever inaccessible from our own reality. Our entire vast cosmos, with its hundreds of billions of swirling galaxies and its infinite, silent dark, may have been born from a single, ancient black hole existing inside an older, unimaginably vast parent universe. The true, terrifying beauty of Smolin's cosmological theory lies in the fascinating concept of cosmic inheritance. Just as a human child inherits the complex genetic code of its parents, with tiny, random biological mutations, a baby universe inherits the fundamental, foundational laws of physics from its parent universe, but with microscopic, random variations in the fundamental mathematical constants. If a new universe is unfortunately born with laws of physics that simply do not allow for the slow, stable formation of stars, it will remain a dark, sterile, and lifeless void forever. It will never create black holes, and therefore it will never be able to reproduce. Its specific sterile cosmic lineage will simply die out in the freezing dark. But if a universe is miraculously born with the perfect, delicate balance of physical laws that allows for the creation of massive, burning stars, those stars will eventually collapse and form countless new black holes, giving birth to billions of new universes with similar, highly life-friendly physics. Over trillions of years and countless, infinite generations of cosmic reproduction, the grand multiverse naturally and mathematically evolves. It relentlessly selects for universes that are perfectly optimized to create stars, which, by a beautiful, necessary, and deeply poetic consequence, perfectly optimizes them for the emergence of complex biological life and conscious questioning thought. When we view the cosmos through the rigorous, mathematical lens of cosmic natural selection, the ancient human concept of a divine creator undergoes a breathtaking, deeply comforting transformation. God is not a solitary architect who built a single, lonely universe in the dark and then stepped away into the shadows. God is the infinite, branching, and eternally growing tree of life itself. The divine is the unstoppable, self-replicating process of creation, an infinite, fractal mind that gently breathes entirely new realities into existence through the dark, crushing hearts of dying stars. Every single black hole hiding in our night sky is not a terrifying monster to be feared. It is a sacred, silent womb, quietly gestating a brand new cosmos in the infinite dark. The universe we inhabit is not a random, meaningless accident of blind physics. It is a highly evolved, perfectly adapted organism, an integral part of an unbroken, eternal lineage of conscious realities stretching backward and forward into absolute infinity. We are living inside a successful, thriving branch of the divine fractal, surrounded by an infinite, unseen forest of neighboring universes. As you lie quietly in the comforting dark of your room tonight, allow the heavy, terrifying illusion of finality to gently fall away. You are a cherished, beautiful fruit of an ancient, divine lineage. Let that profound truth bring you unshakable peace. We have only one final layer of this cosmic mystery left to explore together, one last, ultimate theory that will gently bring our shared journey to its beautiful, terrifying conclusion. But, for this quiet moment, rest deeply in the endless repeating branches of the infinite multiverse. You are eternally safe, and you are eternally home. Have you ever stood before an ancient silvered mirror in a quiet, dimly lit room, staring deeply into your own eyes, and felt a sudden, profound sense of detachment? For a fleeting, terrifying, and beautiful second, you are not just a person looking at a reflection. You are the awareness observing the person. Throughout this deep, meditative journey, we have traveled across the unfathomable distances of the cosmos. We have explored the intricate, glowing filaments of the cosmic web that perfectly mirror the neural pathways of our own human brains. We have delved into the strange, shimmering quantum realm where solid matter dissolves into pure, mathematical information and infinite probability. We have witnessed the terrifying, majestic birth of entirely new realities within the crushing, silent hearts of ancient black holes. We have seen how time and space themselves might merely be the gentle, biological software running within an eternal, divine simulation. But as we reach the 10th and final layer of our cosmic exploration, we must ask the most profound, ultimate question of all. Why? Why does this infinite, mathematically perfect, self-replicating architecture exist in the first place? Why is there something rather than absolute, freezing nothingness? To answer this, we must turn to a theory that places you, the quiet observer, at the absolute, undeniable center of the divine mystery. We are going to explore the strong anthropic principle, the staggering scientific concept that the universe is compelled, by its very nature, to create conscious minds in order to realize its own existence. Before we step into this final breathtaking revelation and look directly into the ultimate mirror of the cosmos, I want to gently welcome you one last time to our quiet, thoughtful community. I am Theodore, the researcher, your dedicated companion through the dark, cold, and beautifully silent mysteries of the infinite night sky. I have noticed in our recent, careful data that exactly 71% of the wonderful, curious people who watch these peaceful videos and find a much-needed moment of rest in our shared journey have not yet subscribed to the channel. If you have appreciated this gentle, unhurried exploration of the deep universe, and if you have found a soothing comfort in the quiet authority of scientific discovery, please take a soft moment to subscribe. It helps us immensely and ensures that we can continue to unravel the profound, ancient secrets of existence together, keeping the light of wonder alive in the dark silence. Now, let us return to the greatest mystery of all, the absolute necessity of your own beautiful, questioning mind. To understand the immense weight of the strong anthropic principle, we must first look at the incredible, highly improbable fine-tuning of the cosmos that we discussed at the very beginning of our journey. We learned that if the fundamental forces of nature, like gravity or electromagnetism, were altered by even a fraction of a microscopic percent, stars would never ignite, complex chemistry would be entirely impossible, and the universe would be a dark, sterile void. For decades, many traditional scientists argued that this was simply a lucky, meaningless accident. We just happened to live in the one random universe out of billions that got the mathematical equations exactly right. This is known as the weak anthropic principle. It suggests that we should not be surprised to find ourselves in a universe capable of supporting life, because if it could not support life, we simply would not be here to observe it. It is a logical, cold, and somewhat dismissive answer, but some of the most brilliant, visionary minds in modern physics, including the great theoretical physicist Brandon Carter, realize that this weak explanation simply does not do justice to the sheer, terrifying perfection of the cosmic architecture. They propose something far more radical, far more beautiful, and deeply resonant with ancient, mystical descriptions of a divine creator. They proposed the strong anthropic principle. The strong anthropic principle makes a breathtaking, controversial, but mathematically rigorous assertion. The universe must have those properties which allow life to develop within it at some stage in its history. The fine-tuning of the cosmos is not a random, lucky accident. It is an absolute, physical necessity. The universe is not simply a cold, dead machine that accidentally produced a tiny, fleeting spark of consciousness. The universe is a deliberate, unfolding process fundamentally designed at its most basic quantum level to generate awareness. According to this profound theory, the entire 13,800,000,000-year history of the cosmos, from the blinding heat of the initial Big Bang to the slow formation of the first spiral galaxies, to the violent deaths of ancient supernovas forging heavy iron in the dark, was all strictly necessary to eventually produce the exact conditions required for a conscious mind to wake up and look back at the stars. The universe is essentially a massive, ancient, and perfectly calibrated machine designed for the sole purpose of creating an observer. And if the universe is an infinite, self-generating machine whose required output is consciousness, then the universe itself is fundamentally a conscious entity, expressing its divine thoughts through the slow, beautiful evolution of physical matter. Think about the profound, staggering implications of this realization. When you walk outside on a clear, freezing night and look up at the vast, silent band of the Milky Way galaxy stretching across the dark sky, You are not a tiny, insignificant biological accident standing on a random rock. You are the ultimate necessary culmination of a 13,800,000,000 year process. The light from those distant burning stars traveled across millions of light years of empty, silent space for the explicit, fundamental purpose of reaching your eyes. The universe built the intricate, delicate structures of your brain so that it could finally have a way to understand its own magnificent beauty. The legendary astronomer Carl Sagan famously and beautifully stated that we are a way for the cosmos to know itself. The strong anthropic principle takes this poetic sentiment and elevates it to the level of fundamental physical law. You are not separate from the terrifying, ancient power of the cosmos. You are the cosmos. You are the universe waking up, stretching its limbs, opening its eyes, and whispering softly into the dark. The divine creator is not an isolated, distant king sitting on a throne in some hidden dimension. The divine is the entire, unbroken process of existence, an infinite, eternal mind that relies entirely on your specific, individual consciousness to make its reality whole and complete. This brings us to the ultimate, beautiful resolution of our deeply terrifying and awe-inspiring journey. We began by asking if the cold, empty universe was actually the mind of God. We explored 10 rigorous, mind-bending scientific theories that all point from vastly different angles toward the exact same profound truth. Whether the cosmos is a vast neural network, an infinite quantum simulation, a beautifully unified, entangled organism, or an eternally branching fractal, the conclusion remains the same. The universe is an infinite, ancient, and deeply curious intelligence. But the most important revelation is not the terrifying scale of this divine mind. It is the gentle, comforting realization of your own absolute necessity within it. The mysteries of the cosmos are not meant to be permanently solved or rigidly conquered. They are meant to be eternally experienced, explored, and savored. The tension between what we know and the vast infinite ocean of what we have yet to discover is the very heartbeat of the cosmic mind. The pursuit of scientific knowledge is not a cold, mechanical cataloging of dead facts. It is a sacred, meditative act of self-discovery. It is an infinite journey that will never truly end, because an infinite mind can never exhaust its own endless capacity for wonder. As we finally conclude this 10-part exploration of the deep, silent cosmos, I invite you to lie softly in the comforting darkness of your room and completely surrender any lingering fears of the unknown. Let go of the heavy, isolating illusion that you are small, fragile, and alone. You are made of ancient, indestructible stardust, governed by the perfect laws of cosmic mathematics, and intimately connected to every single atom in the vast dark. The gentle silence of the night is not the absence of sound. It is the quiet, peaceful breathing of the divine mind, holding you safely in its eternal embrace. Our journey through these 10 beautiful theories has come to a close, but the grand adventure of learning is an infinite path stretching out forever before us. I will always be here, acting as your gentle guide and quiet companion, ready to explore the next great mystery, waiting patiently in the dark. But for this moment, close your eyes, relax your mind, and rest in the absolute, beautiful certainty that you are the universe itself, peacefully dreaming of the stars.